If your feet are always cold and your legs feel heavy no matter what you take, this video matters. Most circulation supplements fail for one simple reason: wrong form, wrong timing, wrong dose. Today, I'll show you the only 3 vitamins that actually help blood flow to your legs, and the one mistake that quietly cancels the results for most people. And if that sounds familiar, you're not alone. If you have poor circulation, chances are you've already tried everything: capsules, powders, advanced formulas, maybe even supplements that promised results in days. And yet, your feet are still cold, your legs still feel heavy, and nothing really changes. That's not because your body is broken. It's because most of what's being sold for circulation simply doesn't work the way you've been told. The supplement industry thrives on quantity, not precision. Dozens of ingredients, tiny doses, fancy labels. But your blood vessels don't respond to clutter. They respond to specific signals in meaningful amounts. Here's the truth most people never hear. Your body doesn't need 20 different pills to improve blood flow to your legs. It needs 3 specific compounds taken in the right form and, in one case, at the right time of day. Miss that timing detail, and one of the most powerful circulation-supporting nutrients becomes almost useless. Get it right, and the difference can be felt where it matters most: in your legs, your feet, and your daily energy. Today, we're cutting through the noise. No brand names, no hype, no wasted money. Just the 3 vitamins that actually support healthy blood flow, and why most people unknowingly take them the wrong way. But before we talk about adding anything, we need to talk about why most supplements fail. Poor circulation doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow process that builds quietly over years. First, the blood vessels begin to narrow. Their muscular walls stay slightly tense instead of relaxed. Then they start to stiffen, losing the natural flexibility that helps push blood downward into the legs and back up to the heart. At the same time, blood itself becomes more sluggish, moving with less ease through those tightening pathways. That's when the signs show up: cold feet that never seem to warm up, heavy legs at the end of the day, skin that looks pale, bluish, or dull, fatigue that hits faster than it used to, even with simple walking. Here's why most supplements fail to help. Low-dose blends can't influence these deep mechanical problems. A few milligrams sprinkled across 20 ingredients might prevent deficiencies, but they're far too weak to relax vessels, restore flexibility, or improve flow where it's already struggling. Circulation doesn't improve through coverage. It improves through targeted action, aimed directly at the systems that control vessel width, elasticity, and blood movement. And that brings us to the first compound, the one that works fast enough for people to actually notice. The first compound isn't exotic, expensive, or new. In fact, most people have heard of it and quietly dismissed it. It's vitamin B3, also known as niacin. Niacin doesn't work in a subtle, maybe someday way. When it works, you feel it, and that's exactly why many people avoid it. This is an uncomfortable but effective compound. Taken in the right form, niacin causes a noticeable warming sensation. The skin may turn red, there can be tingling or itching. That reaction isn't a side effect, it's a signal. It means blood vessels near the surface are opening, sometimes within minutes. More space, less resistance, better flow. For people with poor circulation, that sudden warmth is often the first real sign that something is actually changing. Now let's be clear, this sensation can feel strange if you're not expecting it. And ignoring that reality is how trust gets broken. Niacin isn't gentle, but used correctly, it's one of the fastest ways to encourage blood vessels to relax and widen, especially in the legs and feet. But the form matters more than the label, and most people get this wrong. So this is where most people go wrong with niacin. To avoid the flushing sensation, they choose non-flushing versions. And, while that sounds appealing, it often removes the very effect they're looking for. The flushing form of niacin triggers a temporary widening of blood vessels. That warmth and redness is really your body responding in real time. Non-flushing versions may feel easier to tolerate, but they just don't create the same immediate circulation response in many people. Now, that doesn't mean niacin has to be taken recklessly. The key is starting low and building slowly. A smaller dose allows your body to adapt. Over time, the flushing becomes milder, shorter, and honestly, easier to manage. Used this way, niacin doesn't force the body, it teaches it. The goal isn't discomfort. The goal is improved blood flow with respect for how your system adjusts. Of course, any powerful compound deserves common sense. If you have existing medical conditions or take medications, this is something to discuss with a healthcare professional. Not out of fear, but out of responsibility. Niacin can open the vessels, but even widened vessels won't help if the pipes themselves are stiff, and that's the real long-term problem. There's a quieter problem behind poor circulation that almost never gets discussed. It's not just narrowing, it's stiffness. Over time, blood vessels can lose their natural ability to expand and contract. They stop responding smoothly to changes in blood pressure and movement. And when that happens, circulation suffers, even if the vessels are technically open. This isn't about doing something wrong. It's a combination of aging, modern diets, and years of small stressors adding up. No single meal causes it. No single year creates it. It builds slowly, often without clear warning signs. Think of healthy vessels like a soft, flexible hose. It bends easily, adjusts to pressure, and keeps flow steady. Now imagine that same hose slowly turning rigid. It still carries fluid, but every movement creates resistance. That rigidity is devastating for blood flow to the legs and feet. Here's the problem. Most circulation advice focuses only on opening vessels temporarily. Almost none of it addresses flexibility. And that's exactly where the least known vitamin in this system comes in. This is where most circulation advice completely falls apart. The second compound almost never shows up in circulation conversations. It's vitamin K2, and it's one of the most misunderstood nutrients out there. When people hear vitamin K, they usually think of blood clotting. That's vitamin K1, found in leafy greens, and it plays a very different role. Vitamin K2 works in a completely separate way. Instead of acting in the blood itself, it works in the vessel walls and soft tissues, exactly where stiffness develops over time. This distinction matters more than most labels make clear. Even within K2, the form is important. MK7 stays active in the bloodstream much longer than other forms. That means steadier support throughout the day, rather than short bursts that fade quickly. Think of it as maintenance instead of a quick fix. It doesn't force vessels open. It helps them regain the flexibility they were designed to have. That's why K2 often gets overlooked. It doesn't create an immediate sensation like niacin, but its long-term impact on circulation can be profound. And what it actually does inside your arteries is the part almost no one explains. Calcium is, well, essential. Your body needs it to keep bones strong and your structure stable. But the problem isn't calcium itself. The real issue is where it ends up. Over time, small amounts of calcium can settle where they just don't belong, inside soft tissues, including the walls of your blood vessels. When that happens, those vessels slowly lose their ability to respond. They don't relax easily. They don't adjust smoothly. Circulation becomes rigid instead of adaptive. And this doesn't happen all at once. It's a gradual loss of responsiveness that builds year after year. Here's where vitamin K2 steps in and plays a unique role. K2 doesn't strip calcium out of your body. Instead, it acts more like, directional guidance. It helps calcium move toward places where structure is needed, like your bones, and away from areas where flexibility really matters. The payoff isn't instant, but over time, vessels supported this way become more elastic, more responsive, and better able to handle the daily demands on your circulation. That's why K2 works quietly in the background. Its strength is durability. So now, the vessels are open and flexible, but they still need a signal to stay that way. Opening vessels and restoring flexibility is only part of the equation. There's another layer most people never even consider. Your body relies on a natural relaxation signal to tell blood vessels when to stay open and how long to remain that way. Without enough of this signal, vessels may open briefly, then tighten again. Flow improves for a moment, then fades. That's why some people feel a short-lived warmth but no lasting improvement. Here's what makes this signal different. It's needed every single day, especially during your active hours when blood flow to the legs is under the greatest demand. And timing matters more than people realize. One of the most common mistakes is taking this support at night. That might sound harmless, even logical, but for many, nighttime dosing actually works against the body's natural rhythm. Instead of helping circulation, it can blunt the signal when it's actually needed most, during the day. This isn't about taking more, it's about taking it at the right time. And honestly, this is the detail that quietly ruins results for a lot of people. The third compound surprises almost everyone. It's vitamin C, but not for the reason you've probably been told. Vitamin C isn't just about immunity. Inside your blood vessels, it plays a critical role in supporting the body's natural relaxation signal, a molecule that tells vessels when to loosen and allow more flow. That signal is called nitric oxide. You don't need to remember the name. What matters is what it does. When nitric oxide is supported, vessel walls relax more easily. Blood moves with less resistance. Flow becomes smoother, especially to the legs and feet. Vitamin C helps in two ways. It supports the production of this signal, and it protects it from breaking down too quickly. Without enough vitamin C, the signal weakens and circulation suffers quietly. But there's a catch. To do this job well, vitamin C has to be absorbed efficiently and tolerated comfortably. Low absorption or stomach irritation can really limit its usefulness, even at higher doses. So the form you choose matters. But taking the right dose at the wrong time can cancel everything. Timing is what turns support into results. The body's demand for circulation isn't evenly spread across the day. It actually peaks when you're upright, moving, and placing stress on the legs. That's why the morning and early afternoon matter most. During these hours, blood vessels need help staying relaxed and responsive. Taking this support early ensures the natural relaxation signal is available when your legs are working hardest. There's another reason timing matters. For some people, this compound can feel mildly energizing. Taken too late in the day, it may interfere with sleep. And poor sleep quietly undermines circulation, recovery, and energy the next day. A simple routine works best. One dose with breakfast, if needed, another with lunch or early afternoon. No complicated schedules, no guesswork. This isn't about adding more supplements. It's about using the right ones at the right time. When timing aligns with the body's rhythm, effectiveness increases without increasing dose. Now that you know the system, let's clear up the biggest myths keeping people stuck. A lot of people assume they're covered because they take a multivitamin. That belief makes sense. Multivitamins are marketed as insurance, something that fills the gaps, and for basic nutrition, that role has value. But there's an important difference most labels don't explain. Multivitamins are designed for prevention, not correction. They provide small amounts of many nutrients to help avoid deficiencies. They are not built to influence circulation problems that have developed over years. Improving blood flow requires signals strong enough to change how vessels behave. That means focused support, not scattered coverage. This isn't about doing anything wrong. It's about understanding expectations. A general blend can help maintain health. But when circulation is already struggling, when legs feel heavy or feet stay cold, maintenance isn't enough. Targeted compounds, in meaningful forms, are what create change. Once people understand this distinction, frustration turns into clarity. With power comes responsibility, so let's talk safety. Anytime you use targeted support, smart use matters. Talking with a healthcare professional isn't a warning sign. It's empowerment. It ensures what you're doing works with your body, not against it. Niacin, for example, is powerful. That's why starting low and increasing gradually is important. If you have existing conditions or take medications, this conversation helps avoid unnecessary interactions and ensures the approach is appropriate for you. Vitamin K2 also deserves attention. Because it plays a role in how the body manages clotting, anyone using blood-thinning medications should always check first. That's not a problem, it's a safeguard. Vitamin C is generally well tolerated, but higher amounts can cause stomach discomfort for some people. Choosing gentler forms and spacing doses can make a big difference in comfort. None of this is about fear. It's about using tools responsibly so benefits can build without setbacks. So what does progress actually look like if this is working? Progress with circulation rarely arrives as a sudden breakthrough. It shows up quietly, in small changes that add up. During the first week, many people notice sensations more than results. A bit of warmth in the feet, less stiffness when standing up. These early signs are about awareness and consistency, not transformation. Over weeks 2 to 6, function begins to shift. Legs may feel lighter at the end of the day. Walking becomes more comfortable. Cold sensitivity eases and recovery feels quicker after activity. This is when improved flow starts to support daily movement, not just isolated moments. After a few months, the change becomes more stable. Circulation holds up better throughout the day. There are fewer ups and downs, less reliance on good days, and fewer setbacks after long periods of standing or sitting. This isn't about miracles, it's about building resilience into how your body functions day after day. And this only works if one habit is locked in. It's tempting to look for a shortcut, a stronger dose, a faster trick, something that works instantly without effort. But circulation doesn't improve through hacks. It improves through support, applied consistently. These compounds aren't medications that force change. They work by giving your body the tools it needs to do what it's designed to do: relax vessels, maintain flexibility, and support steady flow. That only happens when support is regular. Skipping days breaks momentum, signals weaken, benefits fade before they have time to stabilize. That's why routine matters more than intensity. Think of it as a daily ritual, the same time, the same rhythm. Not something you remember only when symptoms bother you, but something built into the day. This approach removes guesswork, it builds trust with your body. And over time, that consistency is what turns small improvements into lasting ones. There's no rush. Just steady progress. So let's bring it all together. When you strip away the noise, circulation comes down to a simple system. One compound helps vessels relax when flow is restricted. Another supports flexibility so those vessels can respond instead of resisting. And the third reinforces the daily signal that keeps blood moving when your body needs it most. Each one has a role. Together, they support circulation in a way scattered supplements never can. The most important shift isn't what you take. It's understanding why you're taking it and using that knowledge with intention. This puts control back in your hands, not through extremes, not through promises of overnight change, just a clear plan applied consistently. Commit to 90 days. That's enough time for your body to respond, adapt, and build momentum. Better circulation isn't about chasing miracles. It's about lighter legs, warmer feet, and having the energy to move through your day with confidence, on your terms.